Welcome back to Talkin' Winter Ops. I'm Rick Nelson, and I'll be your host for the 2025 National Winter Maintenance and Road Weather Briefing Series. This is our opportunity to catch up with our partners in winter maintenance and road weather to find out what they've been working on this past year and what they're planning for the future. These briefings are a way to see if their work might fit into your operation. But before we get started, it's important to give a shout out to the briefing sponsors, starting with the AASHTO Winter Weather Management Technical Service Program, who sponsors Talkin' Winter Ops. Their parent AASHTO committee, the Committee on Maintenance, and their close ties with the Maintenance Operations Technical Working Group, and of course the state DOTs, whose yearly contribution to the Winter Weather Management Technical Service Program make all this possible. So sit back and listen in on this winter maintenance and road weather briefing. Hey, Mike Chapman, how are you? How are you doing today?
Yeah, I'm doing pretty well, Rick. How are you doing?
Not too bad, not too bad. Mike, you're with the Colorado DOT, is that right?
Yeah, that's right. I'm the Winter Operations Program Manager for CDOT. I've held this position going on 3 years now. The kind of purview for my group here is weather operations, avalanche mitigation, and then we're intertwined into all kinds of winter maintenance technologies within the organization.
Yeah, and even more importantly than that, you're the chair of the Aurora Pool Fund Study this year.
Yeah, I got tricked into it actually. No, just kidding. I got nominated last year to be the vice chair, and then you trickle up to the chair the next year. So we have kind of a line of succession, and I replaced Jason as the chair this fall.
See what happens when you miss a meeting?
Yeah, that's exactly it. I think I was probably going to the bathroom or something.
So, Mike, you're going to fill us in on what Aurora's been doing this past year and what you got on your plate.
Yeah, so I mean, just for a little bit of an overview, Aurora is a pooled fund research group that's very mature. It's been around since 1996. A lot of technology has sprouted up with the advances in communication, advances in sensors, advances in technology and data. Now we're dealing with AI. So over that 30-year period, massive changes have happened, and the states got together and decided, hey, if we put our money together, maybe we can solve some problems that each of the states have with regards to dealing with the weather around maintaining the roads and other types of operations that we do on the highways. So we have right now currently 16 departments of transportation that collaborate. We focus on road weather information. That's a pretty broad way of saying anything that's kind of weather related that might touch the road, we're interested in. We're interested in the way that we communicate information. We're interested in the way that we collect information. And then we're interested in the way that information then goes to the folks in the field to make things a lot more efficient, maybe more safe and resilient as well. This is just a map of the states. It's a lot of Midwestern states, but we're all the way up in Maine and then all the way up to the left in Alaska as well. It's kind of an interesting group because everybody has similarities in the way that they fight snow, but then there's a lot of differences too. We have, similarities with the way Utah does things because of the mountains in Alaska as well. Whereas a lot of the Midwest states, they're flatter, maybe not as much snow, but other weather-related problems that we don't necessarily have to deal with. So it's a pretty valuable group to come together, exchange ideas, and more efficiently spend our state funds on research and hopefully research into operations. So this year I'm the chair. James Roth is the vice chair, so he's the next man on the block here for this next year. It's kind of funny because James and I are both ex-college football players, so hopefully that doesn't mess the group up because of all the blows to the head over the years. And then Tina's she's the lead. Iowa DOT takes the lead, and it's managed by Iowa State University, a group called Intrans. Extremely valuable to keep us on the straight and narrow as far as meetings and paying vendors and contractors to do some research for us. So shout out to Zach and Neil, and Judy kind of handles some of the back end stuff for us too. So shout out to her as well. The way that we have it set up as far as communicating within the group, we have monthly virtual meetings. It lasts about an hour. Sometimes we'll do a show and tell with a friend of Aurora. Typically that's like a new friend, someone that has some new technology that's interesting. They'll give us a little bit of a demonstration as opposed to a sales pitch, just to show what they have. And then we have a pretty robust Friends of Aurora group that we get together with every few years during either our spring or fall meetings. So we'll do those in person. Typically it's over about 2.5 days. Those are interesting meetings because it's not just sit down and chit chat and then go to the hotel bar and have some beers. It's some field trips, some hands-on types of things, and then it's a nice showcase also for the state that is hosting in that particular year. In the Friends group, we have more than 20 groups or agencies, and then our last Friends was last fall in Wisconsin, which I'll talk about here. The fall meeting was Wisconsin. Our field trip was to Jefferson County, which was like 40 minutes outside of Madison, I think, give or take. Really tight ship as far as brine making and stuff like that. And then we also took a trip to the University of Wisconsin Sims Institute. Very, very top of the line atmospheric research coming out of the University of Wisconsin. A lot of tropical stuff, actually, which is kind of funny. Kind of similar to what Colorado State does here. But they are kind of among the world leaders in satellite research. And then this spring we were in Anchorage. We got to do a tour of a very cool tunnel that goes to Prince William Sound, a town called Whittier, and it's a one-lane tunnel that's got railroad tracks through it. So you have to time it perfectly in order to drive through it. It's only a couple times an hour. And then you'll see the picture here. Believe it or not, that is the bucket for a loader at Ted Stevens International Airport. And we fit the whole Aurora group in there. I think that's kind of a cool picture. We got to be on the ground very close to some big jumbos that were landing. I think Anchorage Airport is at least close to the top as far as cargo movement in the world. So it was kind of cool to see their operations as far as the way that they deal with runway maintenance during snow. A lot of large-scale snow removal equipment and blowers and things like that, but obviously you can see with the bucket that kind of sums it up. Here's a list of recently completed projects, and then in the parentheses it's the group that basically is performing the work. The first one is assessment of connected vehicle friction measurement data. I'll talk about that first on the next slide. And then after that, I'll talk about this University of Alberta project that's also kind of cool research that's hot off the press. The connected vehicle friction measurement one is it's a group out of Sweden called Naira Dynamics. I was actually the champion of this project. The images on the right is that's actually I-70, kind of the most important corridor for us as far as dealing with snow. We actually had an overnight closure last night, not because of weather either, but because of a pretty bad wreck. But it gets beat up during winter because of the major elevation changes. So this particular project, Naira Dynamics, is on the Audi group of vehicles, including Volkswagens, Porsches, those types of things. And they're doing friction prognostics off of passenger vehicles in real time. And it does a remarkably good job. And it's research that's near and dear to my heart because since my days back at NCAR, we've been trying to figure out how to pull weather information off of connected vehicles, and this company did it, and we actually have this data now for this next season that's going to go into operations for us for multiple use cases.
So, Mike, were these vehicles privately owned vehicles, or?
Yeah, this is crowdsourced data. These are uncontrolled, privately owned, off-the-line vehicles that Naira manages the data. And they get a friction. Some people don't want to say friction in this world. Some people say grip. They're fairly well correlated. So it'll show the deterioration of the grip or friction on the road. And it's off of multiple vehicles. And Colorado's a robust state for this. Pennsylvania also was involved because we do have a lot of Audis and Volkswagens going up and down the mountains, especially during ski season. So really interesting technology for multiple use cases for us as a state. The next project that was recently completed is out of the University of Alberta. This is also pretty cool technology that I think we're going to be able to utilize over the next several years. So over the time that Aurora has been in existence, I wasn't at NCAR until the early 2000s. So around then we talked about doing image analytics and trying to determine pavement condition off of fixed or mobile imagery, and this particular project is University of Alberta, made some pretty good strides as far as this goes. So I'm hoping very soon. There's multiple players out there that are able to better decipher road conditions with imagery, and I think it's sooner than later that this is an actual tool for us in maintenance and operations. Active projects, we've got 4 of them here. A VSL, variable speed limit project, an AI project for communications, a standardization of the way that we communicate road conditions. It's an Iowa State project, and I'll go a little more in detail with these 4. And then one that I'm also championing is this has never been done, but we've got a bunch of friction observations out there on the RWIS and on vehicles. The Naira data, but we also have sensors from some of the vendors on our supervisor vehicles and some plows. And that particular project I'll go into, but it's unique. We'll just leave it at that, and I'll explain it here in a minute. So the VSL project is actually NCAR and Rutgers, and I believe it's Western Transportation out of Montana State. Looking at how to recommend variable speed limits during different weather conditions. So start zeroing in on being able to automate that due to changing weather conditions. Right now there's a human in the loop, there may always be a human in the loop, but this could potentially be a tool around weather and tweaking those speeds as we see the weather and how it affects the roads, and lowering the speed limit. The next one is using AI basically to communicate potentially to the public itself. Really cool technology. Final reports expected this summer. Hopefully there's at least a push to get that operationalized somehow. Then I think they're also looking at immediate and convenient access to different streams of data with this project as well. So utilizing a lot of the different data sets and tools that we've come up with over the years.
Mm-hmm. So now, is this a traveler information project, or
Yes.
are we talking about putting, communicating to people in vehicle?
This to me right now, low-hanging fruit is traveler information through like 511. I thought when I saw the presentation in the spring, that to me looked like the at least most sensible way to get this out there. Down the line, it wouldn't shock me if it goes that extra step. But for now, I think it's going to be through the 511 technology.
Yeah. Okay.
And then a standardization for winter weather road condition indices. So this is, it's important as states to have kind of standardized messages and vocabulary around weather hazards like this. And that project's slated to end at the end of December 2025. And they're also looking at, we have a vast amount of connected vehicle and autonomous vehicle data that's going to be popping up. So also looking into that as a data set for this particular project. And the last one that I hinted at that's also fairly unique, a new project that got started last fall. NCAR is spearheading it. This is taking all the friction data that we have and actually using machine learning and probably some artificial intelligence and other statistical methods to build some models. So I think it's the next logical step for getting practical information out of a typically complex weather model. So a weather model can tell you, okay, it's going to snow. This is how much we think it's going to accumulate. This is taking it the next step and saying, okay, due to data under the hood over the last several seasons, this is what our expected grip or friction is likely going to be as this storm comes in. So very interesting and valuable for material decisions, but also operational decisions like chain law and variable speed messaging.
Mm-hmm.
So we had 44, as far as solicitations for new work, we had 44 ideas submitted in 2025. We prioritize them. It's not an easy task when you get that many of them. It's a lot of information to kind of decipher. We decipher it down to typically single-digit full proposals that we request from the submitter. And then they actually have a 5-minute presentation during the spring meeting, and we make them stick to it. And there's not questions going back and forth. It's just a 5-minute, more or less. This is what we plan on doing if we get the funds. This year we selected one. Right now, we haven't advertised which one, but we're in talks to get that contracted and that kind of thing, and then it'll be advertised. There's an additional one that we're talking to about scaling back a little bit. And that's mainly a funding thing that the board decided we would at least get the line of communication open with that next project and see if we could come to some kind of agreement and still get tackle a lot of the research that was proposed. So the announcements for that's coming up. Let's see. So the fall meeting is actually going to be in Minnesota. That's going to be a peer exchange. This is peer exchange with Clear Roads and NASHCO, and that's going to be the middle of September. Looking forward to it. And I'm also CDOT's representative for Clear Roads as of today. As of tomorrow, it's going to be our deputy director of maintenance, Jim Fox. I tricked him into doing it. So it's hard for me to juggle Clear Roads and Aurora. And Jim's the state maintenance engineer. So
Okay.
he'll be really valuable for Clear Roads, actually.
Yeah, I think Jim did the briefing last year for one of the organizations, and I can't remember.
Yeah, what's the other
I
one?
think it might actually have been No Boundaries.
It is No Boundaries. Yeah, and Colorado leads that effort. So I believe I'm not on that one. So I'm pretty positive that's it, though.
Yeah,
So
good. Well,
Jim will be there in the fall with myself.
it'll be good to have Jim on board for sure.
Yeah, yeah, I totally agree. So here's a pretty valuable website here that has all our previous research. There's a bunch of it. One thing that I'm trying to push is that a lot of the research that we do, if there is the ability for us to get it into operations, assuming that the research was successful, at least from my perspective and for a value perspective for Colorado, we're going to push pretty hard to get stuff into operations that makes sense for us. So I think talking about the NIRA friction data, that's a really good example of a successful, fairly quick turnaround on research to operations. I'm hoping we can do multiples of those in the coming years.
And you hit on a great point there, Mike. One of the things that Aurora has been really successful at doing is going from idea to research to implementation on a rather compressed time scale. I mean, when you look at the kinds of scientific research that takes place in the NCHRP world, it takes a long time to develop a project, to put it on the street, to make it happen before you finally, get something to work with out the other end. And Aurora does an excellent job of moving those ideas forward.
Yeah, I agree, and I think it's why I really value participating in the Aurora board. Of course, I have my background at research applications at NCAR, and now in actual operations here at CDOT. So that kind of groomed me back then, 15 years at NCAR. Keep your eye on the ball as far as how to make research be practical, and then in turn it becomes valuable.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, too many times research will just sit. It'll be a report or something like that. So we're working pretty hard to take that next step and get it into operations and provide some value for
it becomes research for research's sake as opposed to actually putting it into practice.
Yeah, it's kind of a pet peeve of mine, other than, I do realize we do have to do basic research to get the ball rolling on hard problems to solve. But when we get to this point where, we're researching to build some kind of functionality to make our jobs easier or safer within the states, then we should get it out as quick as possible.
Yeah, absolutely. So, Mike, what we'll do is we'll take and post the Aurora website URL in our show notes, along with the appropriate emails. So if folks are interested in the Aurora program, if they want to learn more about Aurora, they'll have some contacts, they'll have a place to go do a little bit of investigation. And thanks so much for your time today to fill us in on what's happening.
Yeah, it's good talking to you, Rick, and we'll see you hopefully in Minnesota.
That's the plan. That's the plan.
All right, perfect. Thanks. Have
All
a
right.
great day.
Thanks.
Bye.
You can listen to all the briefings and other Talkin' Winter Ops episodes on our website, talkinwinterops.com, or wherever you get your podcast content. Video versions are available on Talkin' Winter Ops YouTube channel, and if a slide deck was used during this briefing, it's available through a link in the show notes, along with the presenter's email, so you can reach out and get more information. Thanks for listening in, and until next time, stay safe out there.